Did you realize that improper vegetable storage can be subtly harming your health, particularly if you're older than 60, in an effort to maintain heart health, lower inflammation, and maintain mental acuity? Many seniors make thoughtful dietary choices, however, most people are unaware that the way you keep those veggies might have a significant impact. Seniors' immune systems gradually deteriorate with age, making them more susceptible to nutrient deficiencies and foodborne infections, according to the CDC. Surprisingly, though, certain veggies lose almost all of their health benefits when refrigerated, while others can even develop dangerous bacteria when left out at room temperature. In this video, we'll show you 3 veggies that you should never put in the refrigerator and 3 that you must keep cold at all costs to save your health, vitality, and quality of life. Continue reading because the lessons you learn today have the potential to save your life in addition to enhancing your health. Let's begin. Garlic. One, for generations people have valued garlic not only for its taste but also for its therapeutic properties. A clove can be added to soup, sautéed into a warm meal, or consumed raw for its heart-healthy properties. For many seniors, it's a daily ritual. However, most people are unaware that garlic loses much of its potency when it is subtly refrigerated. Garlic is a hardy dry bulb. It is naturally meant to be kept in dry, cool, and well-ventilated areas. You interfere with that natural defense when you put it in the refrigerator, especially if it's not peeled. It sprouts early because of the cold and dampness. That might not appear to be an issue from the outside. On the inside, though, something more worrying is taking place. Allicin, the chemical that gives garlic strong anti-inflammatory, cholesterol-lowering, and immune-boosting effects, is broken down during that sprouting process. What used to be a natural remedy for the aging body is now weaker, more bitter, and more difficult to stomach. The taste gets bitter, the texture changes. Worst of all, you are no longer receiving the advantages you rely on to lower inflammation in sore joints, enhance circulation, or safeguard your heart. However, there are other risks as well. Unknowingly, a lot of individuals keep chopped garlic in oil because they find convenient. Clostridium botulinum, a hazardous bacterium that may paralyze and even kill people, thrives in that mixture when it is kept cold without the proper acidity or preservatives. Particularly vulnerable are elderly, people with weakened immune systems, and this is what you get for just placing a potent dish there. You lost safety, you lost health, and you quietly lost a tool that could have been your daily healer. Garlic loses more than simply flavor when its strength is diminished. Its inherent capacity to sustain the very systems that deteriorate with aging is lost. That's a significant loss. Every time we cook, we're wasting a chance. The good news: by honoring its nature, you can regain its strength. Whole garlic bulbs should be kept out of direct sunlight and dampness. In an open basket or mesh bag, keep it dry. Continue to breathe. Additionally, it will keep you safe. However, garlic is not the only vegetable that is negatively impacted. The following one is nourishing, pleasant, and frequently misinterpreted. Furthermore, it doesn't simply lose flavor when cooled. It might become something that does more harm than good to your body. Now let's discuss sweet potatoes. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's now discuss point number 2. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are more than just a comfort dish for a lot of senior citizens. They stand for home warmth and sustenance, rich in fiber, potassium, and slow-burning carbohydrates. They aid in blood sugar regulation, promote healthy digestion, and provide the body with gentle energy, something that all seniors can value. However, few people are aware that keeping sweet potatoes in the refrigerator might subtly negate these Advantages making this healthy route a secret danger. The refrigerator appears to be a secure location at first look. It feels like it should prolong shelf life because it is chilly and controlled. However, sweet potatoes don't withstand frigid temperatures. Well, their internal chemistry starts to change when they are exposed to low temperatures. The beneficial complex carbohydrates, which are excellent for regulating energy and heart health, begin to change into simple sugars. Additionally, those sugars react with high heat when baked or roasted, producing acrylamide, a chemical molecule that has been connected in multiple studies to an elevated risk of cancer, something that you formerly believed to be a nutritious therapeutic diet may suddenly be detrimental to your health, particularly as you age and your body becomes more susceptible. Furthermore, it doesn't end there. Sweet potatoes' cell walls are similarly harmed by cold temperatures, giving them a strange grainy texture and a darker interior that indicates oxidation and nutrient loss. That gorgeous golden orange flesh, which is high in beta-carotene for healthy eyes, starts to lose its color and its health-promoting properties. The cost of refrigerating sweet potatoes is as follows. You lose their nutritious qualities, their softness, and their integrity. A diet that may have helped your blood pressure, eased your stomach, and provided you with long-lasting energy has suddenly turned into something much less, and occasionally even dangerous. Frequently you won't become aware of it until it's too late, but fear isn't the point here. Restoring appreciation for the foods that keep us alive is the goal. Instead of a chilly, damp refrigerator, sweet potatoes should be stored in a cool, dark, dry area like a pantry or closet. They remain firm, tasty, and full of all the nutrients your aging body still needs and deserves when stored correctly. What about plants that alter not only in chemistry but also in microbiological danger? If sweet potatoes, which are so comforting and familiar, can turn against us in the cold, it's possible that the next one is currently in your kitchen. Additionally, it doesn't simply go bad in the refrigerator. It allows microorganisms to enter that the aged immune system shouldn't have to contend with. Let's discuss onions. Onions. Onions are cooking methods, the ingredients we instinctively go for, and the routines we adhere to after years of practice all possess a subtle intelligence. Onions are one of those components that many seniors consider to be constantly present and ready to add flavor and complexity to any meal. What if, however, something as commonplace as keeping onions in the refrigerator was subtly harming your health? It seems innocuous at first appearance. After peeling and using half of an onion, you put it in the refrigerator. Alternatively, you may keep the entire bulb in the crisper drawer in the hopes that the cold may extend its lifespan. However, when onions are kept in a dry environment, their papery skin protects them from light and moisture. In contrast, the refrigerator is the very setting for which they are not designed. Cold, wet, and contained. Once inside the onions, once sharp flavor becomes sour or dull. Their texture softens, their layers start to disintegrate, and they start to absorb moisture from the air. However, taste is not the end of it. If the onion has already been chopped, the extra moisture makes the ideal environment for the growth of germs and mold. Furthermore, an elderly person's immune system cannot afford to take that chance, although a younger body might be able to handle some spoiling. Odor transmission is another factor that many people ignore. When onions are refrigerated, they produce sulfur compounds that contaminate neighboring foods. Fruit, butter, and even leftovers can acquire that unwelcome sharpness. Additionally, this deprives seniors of one of life's basic pleasures by making meals more complex and unpleasant for those who may have diminished senses of taste or smell. However, there's more to the cost than just damaged food. Onions that are not maintained properly lose their potent anti-inflammatory properties such as quercetin, which is essential for preserving brain function, promoting circulation and protecting joints. Simply put, the same vegetable that ought to be subtly improving your quality of life as you age is now providing less or may be doing more harm. However, the answer is straightforward and has existed for many generations. Onions should be kept in an open shelf or basket that is dry, dark, and well ventilated. They will continue to safeguard your body one meal at a time if you allow them to breathe and remain whole. You might be wondering, which of these three vegetables truly rely on the cold to keep you safe? Now that we've revealed the hidden risks of refrigeration, next we'll look at the vegetables that need to be kept cool to avoid spoiling, quickly losing their nutrients, and subtly endangering your health in unexpected ways. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's go on to point number 4. Now keep these 3 veggies cold to avoid harmful health. Leafy greens. Effects 1. Leafy greens. Many seniors have a particular place in their hearts for leafy greens. They are nutrient-dense, light and simple to prepare, nourishing the body from the inside out. A few lettuce leaves tucked into a sandwich, a kale salad for lunch, or a handful of spinach in your morning eggs. These veggies provide much more than just visual appeal. They offer defense. They safeguard your heart, brain, and bones, but only if you treat them with the respect they need. Greens with leaves are delicate almost immediately after they are picked. They start to decompose on the counter. Their vivid appearance might endure for a few days, but a silent deterioration is occurring underneath. Greens are much more susceptible to heat, moisture, and air exposure than more resilient plants. Their nutritional content starts to degrade without enough refrigeration, particularly that of folate, vitamin K, and antioxidants like lutein. These nutrients are not insignificant. They are necessary for blood coagulation, cognitive function, and eye protection, all of which are critical for aging in a healthy way. Even worse, if leafy greens are not stored properly, they can become hazardous. They wilt rapidly at room temperature, particularly in heated kitchens, and moisture accumulates as they wilt. That wetness gives dangerous germs like E. The ideal conditions to thrive, Listeria and E. coli, are unseen dangers that can cause major sickness in the elderly. These cases are not uncommon. The elderly are always the most vulnerable, and outbreaks have occurred and lives have been lost. Something more subtle but just as harmful is also present. Greens lose more than just nutrients. As they spoil, they become less appealing. They lose their appealing appearance and flavor. Additionally, even a minor obstacle to eating healthily can have long-lasting consequences for seniors who may already be dealing with diminished appetite or low-energy food. Carrots. Spoilage is not a measure of the cost of failing to keep greens cool. It manifests as days when your body lacks the necessary resources to function properly, missed meals, and weakened immunity. However, the solution is accessible. Leafy greens should be kept in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator to absorb extra moisture. Wrap them in a paper towel before putting them in a ventilated produce bag or loose plastic bag. Consider them to be plant medicine rather than ornaments, because they are precisely that. Furthermore, if leafy greens get weaker when not refrigerated, what about vegetables that appear robust but wither silently when left out? The next one is solid, well-known, and packed with unspoken benefits only if you keep it cool. Though, let's discuss carrots. Please let me know in the first remark below if you're still watching and finding these insights useful. Let's now discuss point Number 2. 2 carrots. Carrots can seem easy. It's the type of veggie that's constantly present, eaten raw as a quick snack, roasted for supper, or sliced into soups. They are among the most recognizable and easily accessible sources of daily nutrition for a large number of seniors. However, there is a delicate equilibrium that is easily upset beneath their moderate sweetness and crisp texture. Furthermore, if carrots are not stored properly, particularly outside of the refrigerator, a lot of their subtle power starts to diminish. Sometimes even before you taste them. Carrots lose moisture rapidly at normal temperature. They lose the delightful crunch that makes them a pleasure to eat as they soften and shrivel. But it's not just texture that's at stake. Beta-carotene, an antioxidant that the body transforms into vitamin A and is essential for healthy eyes, a strong immune system, and healthy skin, is particularly abundant in carrots. Furthermore, vitamin A is essential for older persons whose immune systems are deteriorating and their vision may already be failing. It is necessary. Beta-carotene starts to degrade when carrots are exposed to warm air for an extended period of time. The strength of what your body actually needs begins to diminish, along with the vivid orange hue, and it gets worse. They are more vulnerable to mildew, bacteria, and spoiling as the outer layers soften, especially in humid conditions. A once protective vegetable can now pose a risk, particularly to elderly people who are more susceptible to foodborne illness. At first, the cost of keeping carrots at room temperature might not seem like much. They will have a limp texture and some discoloration. It's much more than that. Over time, though, it's the gradual depletion of regular nutrition, the lost chance to retain strength in a body that is already exerting more effort with age, support vision and lower inflammation, the loss of faith in a once dependable diet that is now unsatisfactory, unappetizing, and simple to overlook is likely the most significant factor. However, there is still time to preserve the benefits of carrots. Carrots maintain their firmness, nutrients, and value when kept in the refrigerator, particularly in a ventilated container or perforated bag. They remain prepared to support your health as intended. Even the toughest veggies require protection, though. Next, we'll discuss a green vegetable that many elderly people use because of its anti-inflammatory and cancer-fighting properties. However, if it is not chilled, it soon becomes limp, bitter, and almost useless for your body as well as your dish. Let's examine broccoli in more broccoli detail. 3. Broccoli. With good reason. Broccoli is frequently referred to as a superfood, one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables we can eat. It's full of fiber, calcium, and a special substance called sulforaphane, which has anti-inflammatory, detoxifying, and cancer-fighting properties. Broccoli can be a silent guardian of health for seniors, in particular preventing cell damage, reducing joint inflammation, and promoting healthy digestion. But maintaining broccoli's low temperature is essential to all of these advantages. Broccoli is not as tough as it looks. Despite its great stature, densely packed florets, and strong stems, the instant it is harvested, its internal chemistry starts to shift. Furthermore, temperature and time pose the most risks to its nutritious value after it leaves the cool setting of the farm or supermarket. Broccoli dehydrates and deteriorates if it is kept at room temperature. Even for a day or two, the bright green turns drab yellow. It becomes softer. Most significantly, the sulforaphane, which is the primary reason why a lot of people eat broccoli, starts to break down. This potent substance is extremely sensitive to air exposure and heat. It degrades quickly without refrigeration, depriving broccoli of its intended potency, and that loss is not simply dietary for older folks, it's very intimate for Broccoli is more than simply food. It serves as fuel for the aging systems, the immunological system, the bones, the digestive system, even the brain. Every day that passes without those protecting substances leaves your body a little less supported and a little more exposed. The cost you incur follows the benefits of broccoli that has been left out for too long don't end when it is harder to eat. It becomes bitter, the odor intensifies and perhaps becomes disagreeable. Additionally, this might make one of the healthiest vegetables unexpectedly unpalatable to seniors who may already have a sensitive palate, digestive problems, or decreased appetite. The exact aspects of health that broccoli was meant to promote gradually deteriorate as a result of missing meals. Conclusion. Nutrients. Here's the good news though: to protect it, not much is needed. Keep your unwashed broccoli in a loose produce bag in the refrigerator. Don't seal it too firmly, but keep it chilled. It must breathe, and while its natural defenses are still in place, use it within a few days of purchase, because broccoli actively aids the body in fighting. In addition to providing nourishment, when stored properly, it keeps you resilient, focused, and one step ahead of the unseen aging changes that occur. You have now witnessed both sides, the ones that genuinely rely on it and the ones that wither in the cold. However, eating is no longer the only factor here. Next, we'll bring everything together and discuss the simple yet effective decisions you can start making right now to improve your health, age more gracefully, and enjoy a better life. In conclusion, you might be held back by the meals you keep. I want to leave you with more than just the facts as we come to an end to this discussion, something private. As we age, we come to realize that the little choices we make on a daily basis have a greater influence on our health than the major ones: our kitchens and their calm routines, how we keep our food in storage, the routines that we acquired decades ago, frequently without consideration, and occasionally those very routines, the ones that seem the most comfortable, can suddenly start to work against us. Although it may seem like a small matter, what goes in the refrigerator and what doesn't is actually a daily discussion with your health. The nutrients that are lost when a vegetable is kept in the cold, the microorganisms that you unintentionally let to grow by excluding particular meals, those decisions add up. Additionally, they affect your ability to think clearly, walk with ease, have a steady heartbeat, and sleep deeply over time. This is not something I'm sharing out of fear. I can speak from experience when I say this. I grew up believing that the refrigerator was the safest spot in the kitchen, just like a lot of you. Cold, we were taught, signified fresh, clean, and safe. The reality, however, is more complex. Some objects are preserved by cold while others are destroyed. It's not just beneficial to understand the differences, particularly as we become older. It's essential. Your body has changed during the past 20 years, and there's no reason to be sad about that. It is a respectable thing. It's putting forth a lot of effort each day to sustain you. Providing it with the appropriate tools is the least we can do, and how we treat the food we eat is the first step toward that. I therefore urge you to do the following. Beginning today, check your pantry and refrigerator. Examine it from a new perspective. Is this food in the correct spot, you ask? It is founded on understanding rather than habit. What needs to be relocated should be moved. Throw away anything that could spoil. Make a system that works for your current physique rather than your former one. Making minor adjustments, like as allowing garlic to air or keeping broccoli crisp, can have a significant impact on your mood. Additionally, don't keep this information to yourself. Talk about it with your husband, your grown kids, and your next-door neighbor who might not be aware that leafy greens wilt for reasons other than time. You never know who might benefit from something as basic as a better vegetable storage system, or who might escape disease altogether. Everyone has the right to age with dignity, power, and clarity, and it's worth making a change. If altering our refrigerator usage even slightly aids in our progress, because food is ultimately more than simply fuel. It's care, and no matter your age, your body deserves nothing less. The purpose of these lectures is to encourage you to live life to the fullest and most genuine. I would be delighted to hear from you. Now think about one thing you've learned, share it with others, and make plans to use it in your own life. On this path of accepting these realities, let's help one another. If this video was enjoyable to you, please leave a remark with one. If not, feel free to use zero in your comment. Your opinions are very important to us. For more videos like these, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope you enjoy living your life as you see fit.